So Trump is reportedly cutting direct communication with Netanyahu from Israel. And what does this mean, right? What does this mean? Does it turn out that a lot of people were starting to say that Trump is also an Israel shill, that Trump will also do the bidding of Israel and constantly, praise Israel and all of that stuff. But why would he then cut off communications with Netanyahu? And these are reports. I mean, he said it, right? Now, is he actually doing it? I don't know. I guess he probably is, right? Now, the real litmus tests, if he means what he says, is, of course, if the money stops going to Israel. As long as money keeps going to Israel, then he can stop talking to Netanyahu all he wants, but Netanyahu is basically getting what he wants. Now, I think that there's something to be said about this regardless, right? So, before we get into that, it's Wednesday. It's the 14th. Yeah, it's the 14th of May, 2025. 6:15 in the morning here in Germany, and this is the Insanity Report for today. So yesterday, I heard about about Trump cutting off communication with Netanyahu because he felt like he was being manipulated. Well, that's true. That's true. Because remember when Trump got up on stage and was talking about Mara Gaza, and we're going to take it over, and we're going to own it, we're going to make a great piece of land out of Gaza, right? If you saw Netanyahu's face because Netanyahu was standing right next to him when he said it, and Netanyahu's face was like, do what? Right? That was basically, in my opinion, that was a sign from Trump to Netanyahu, and he was saying, look, dude, there's going to have to be a solution to this fucking problem. This cannot go on for another 40 years the way it is. I'm going to let you guys deal with it over there because it's your region. So all the Muslim countries, pay attention. Netanyahu, pay attention. Start moving towards a viable solution. Or we're just going to take it over and we're going to make the solution. I think that was Trump's message. And by the looks of Netanyahu's face at the time, it sure as hell seemed like he also got that message. Because he was like, oh, no, I don't want it to be fucking Mara Gaza. I want it to be Israel. You know what I mean? That's basically what his face said. He was like, nah, I want to take over. The whole point of this is to take over the whole fucking place and get rid of all the Palestinians, dude. You know what I mean? But he can't say that. Nobody will. I don't know what the fucking, hardly anybody will. Anyway. So it's amazing that now I lost my train. Now I'm Bidening on everybody. I'm sorry. Goddamn. Okay. So if you remember that time when Trump was getting ready to was talking about taking it over, all of a sudden people sprung into action, but essentially no plan came out of it. And that's what Trump is basically waiting for. Trump is like, okay, Netanyahu, we're going to get some hostages back. They didn't keep to their side of the deal with all the hostages. You didn't keep to your side of the deal with ceasefiring and etc. And now there's still no solution. And I think that's Trump's issue. It's the same tactic he's using in Ukraine. If you see what he's talking about in Ukraine, he's like, okay, guys, look, enough talking about possibly there being a solution. Let's get to the table. Let's start hashing it out. Let's make some deals, right? And he's basically saying to both sides, if you guys are not ready to make deals, then we're just going to walk. I don't have time for this shit, right? And he's taking the same approach with Israel, I believe, which is fucking good. Because I was also starting to get a little worried that Trump, who ran on anti-war and stopping giving money to other countries for their stupid wars and hating war, it sure as hell was starting to seem a little bit like he was like, okay, I hate war except for Israel's war. You know what I mean? But he made a deal with Iran as well, it looks like, and it looks like Netanyahu is not pleased with that deal. You know why? Because Netanyahu wants America to go to war with Iran. They've been trying to do that for fucking ever. Okay? Because they can't do it by themselves. So they want America to do it with them or for them. Either way, Netanyahu wants to pull the United States into a long drawn out war with Iran because that's what he wants, right? I don't know why he wants it. I don't care why he wants it. It's not my fucking problem, right? And if I was living in America and I voted for Donald Trump, it wouldn't be my problem either, right? Because I would have voted for Donald Trump to stop these fucking stupid wars where people are just killing each other and bashing each other's heads in for no reason. And at the very least, stop funding them, right? If you can't stop them altogether, you can stop funding them. That's my point here, okay? So that he could do. And that's what I would have voted for Donald Trump for. And it looks like Donald Trump is really keeping to his word on this. Because otherwise, I don't think that he would send out this statement, I'm going to stop talking to Netanyahu personally. Because the thing is, the motherfucker's lying. And he's not still come up with a solution for Gaza. I still haven't heard no plans. He's still indiscriminately bombing the whole fucking place to smithereens. And so now, I'm done fucking with him. That's basically Trump's message. I think. I hope. I really hope. I really do hope. You know what I'm saying? It would be sad if it wasn't. You know, it would be sad if this is just some BS. I think this is a sign from Trump without, you know, because you can't expect Trump to just drop Israel like a hot potato, okay? That's what I would do. I'd be like, look, okay, change of administration. We're no longer funding wars. We're not even funding your shit. We're done. We're out of the funding war business as of today. I get there are many political sensitivities to this, and you have to give Trump a little bit of leeway to operate and maneuver within those guidelines. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be impossible for him to do his job. I'm critical of him as well when it comes to the accountability thing. That's something I'm really harping on. I'm really tired of waiting for accountability for all the shit that's happened in the last 10 years, right? But I do think, I believe that they are going to get to it, right? I hope they're going to get to it. And this thing with Israel, again, I don't hate Israel. I just don't think Netanyahu is the proper leader or servant, whatever you want to call it, for Israel. I think he's making a lot of stupid decisions. I think he's corrupt, and I think he's only concern is that he stay in power. And this war with Israel, with Hamas and on Gaza, is something that will guarantee him staying in power for as long as the war lasts. It's also in his interest that Iran doesn't exist anymore. I get it, but that's his fucking problem. So I hope Trump sticks to his word, and it does look like that's what he's doing. Now, on the other side, we can't get our hopes up like mega high that it's going to lead to an actual pulling back of America out of this war situation between Israel and Hamas, right? I mean, the chances that they're actually going to monetarily pull out, like stop funding it, stop giving them money, you know, it's hard for me to believe that's going to happen, even though that's what I would want, right? And the reason why is there's probably legal problems with it. You know, I think if it was totally up to Trump, I think he would probably do it, but I don't think it is. And I'm not sure. I'm not a constitutional lawyer here, so I don't know. But I don't think that Trump can just stop the money flow with the stroke of a pen or the snap of a finger. I think that has to somehow go through Congress. And the chance that Congress is going to do anything at all, ever, is almost nothing. So especially not pull money away from Israel. They're not going to do it. So I don't think that's the way they're going. I don't think they're going to do it. You know what I mean? But I think that this is a sign from Trump to Netanyahu. Like, dude, listen, I told you, get a fucking viable plan together. It hasn't happened yet. We're like 3 months later. You know what I mean? It's time for you to stop bullshitting me and start getting fucking work. And I think that if Netanyahu gets that message and does come up with something viable, that Trump will sit down with him again and Trump will talk to him again. Because Trump doesn't want Israel to die. Trump doesn't want Israel to be blown away. Just Trump doesn't want to fund and be participating in stupid wars that Netanyahu wants to do, right? Trump, of course, also knows that Netanyahu owes his ass, right? Because Trump did move the embassy to Jerusalem, right? Remember? And that for Netanyahu and Israel was a big, big fucking deal. And Trump's like, look, dude, I'm the first president. I'm the only president that ever tried to do it. A lot of presidents have talked about it. I personally don't know why this is such a big deal, but it is, right? It's for the people that know about it, it's a big fucking deal. So Trump's like, dude, I did that for you. I was the only president that ever did it for you. Now you owe me. You can't fucking treat me like the redheaded stepchild here and be fucking bullshitting me around. I told you I wanted a solution for this shit. That's basically what Trump is saying, right? And I'm pretty sure that that Netanyahu will get that message. At least that's the hope, right? And that this bullshit in Gaza will stop, okay? It will stop. And that there will be some sort of viable solution, which there may be, because there's also rumors going around right now that Trump is going to recognize Palestine, recognize Gaza as a Palestinian state. If he does that, that's a very bad sign for Israel's intentions, okay? That's a very bad sign for what Israel wants, okay? We all know that. Now, I think that's the right thing to do. I think that for once and for all, it needs to be clear-cut. This is Palestine for the Palestinian people. This is Israel. They get to live there. You get to live there. And it's the end of this BS shit, right? Right? That's the most sane, logical position one can have on this thing. I mean, really, nobody can convince me I'm wrong about this, okay? Because if convincing me I'm wrong about this means that the only other solution is fucking blow up all the Palestinians and have Israel go take over Gaza. That's the only other solution. I don't think that's the right solution at all. That doesn't sound right. You know what I mean? That doesn't sound right. Because whether you like Hamas or not, there's still a lot of innocent Palestinians in Gaza. It's not just Hamas. We all know that. It never has been. Right? There's been a lot of innocent people killed over this shit. Right? So it just seems to me that Trump certainly doesn't seem like the big Israel shield that people are trying to make him out to be, right? It also looks like the tariffs thing might be working out as well. China seems to have come to the table. It looks like they've got at least a temporary deal, right? Not bad. That's a start. That's where you start. Better than it was last week, isn't it? Right? So we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. It does look like we're getting somewhere. It does look like Trump and at least a few people within the administration are getting things done in a positive way that all of us were like kind of guessing and hoping on. Like, we don't know. I don't know shit about tariffs and how that's going to fucking work out. I'm not an economist. I have no idea. Is it risky? Probably. Yeah, probably. But it looks like it's panning out. It does look like it's panning out. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll turn out not to pan out. Maybe it'll pan out for a little while and blow up in his face in the end. I don't know. Nobody knows, right? Trump seems pretty confident. And so far, at least Trump is sticking to the things that he said, which are within his control. There are other things that are not happening, like the accountability thing, right? I don't think that's fully within Trump's control. I really don't. I think that there are people under him and people working within these departments and administrative roles that are autonomous in their decision making. That means that they can't be directed by Donald Trump to do everything, right? It just doesn't work that way. And Trump can't just fire everybody that won't prosecute or won't run after the people that he wants. So I think in some aspects of the things that we are as people are expecting to see from the Trump administration, there are things lacking, but I don't think that's because of Trump. I think that's because of the people within the administration that are pushing back. I think that's because of Congress unwilling to act or do anything to support Trump's executive orders or whatever he's doing. They're just sitting there. They haven't done squat. I bitch about it all the time, so I don't need to go into it today. It looks like Trump is doing his utmost damnedest and facing all the flack and all the heat and all the internal discussions that we don't know anything about. He's doing his utmost damnedest to stay within the guidelines of the things that he promised the American people and why they elected him. And he's taken a lot of risks, also with his own legacy. And it looks like a lot of the things that he's taking the risk on are turning out to work out in the end. Oh, well, he didn't stop the Ukraine war in 24 hours? No. But did you really expect he was gonna? You know what I mean? So, but it does look like Donald Trump's involvement in this shit is pushing that thing towards an end. Now they've got the Europeans, which have been totally pro-war, totally fucking we're going to defeat Russia, even though we don't have one piece of ammunition, we've got no money, we've got no soldiers, we got jack squat, we rely on America for everything, but we're going to go, we're going to fucking do, no, Zelensky, no peace, you keep going, you're going to win, bro. That's been the Europeans up until like 2 minutes ago. And do you think that they came to the conclusion themselves that they're like, okay, let's try to work out a deal? No, it's because Trump got involved, right? So whatever the process, the results seem to be panning out in a positive way for everybody involved when it comes to Trump himself and what he is able to do on his own, right? He knows he doesn't have Congress. That's why he's doing all the fucking executive orders. He knows that Congress is basically just a fucking lame duck, spineless, toothless fucking body that isn't going to do shit. He knows. That's why he's doing 1,001 executive orders, doing everything that he can with the people that he can trust in the administration that he has to get the things done regardless of Congress. Right? So, when it comes to Trump, I think we should give Trump himself a little leeway when there are mistakes made or things not done in a fast enough manner for us to be happy with. And like I said, I'm the first one to complain about the non-accountability for fucking anybody from the last 10 years. No Congress people, no fucking Fauci, no nothing, no COVID shit, nothing. The mRNA vaccines are still on the schedule. There's a couple of things that I'm like, well, it just doesn't fit. And I think that the reason why it doesn't fit is because those things are outside of Trump's direct control, and he's having to fight and argue and push and fucking do whatever he has to do within the ranks of the people under him to get those things done. I think that's where we're at. That's my opinion. I think this development with Israel is a very good sign. Not because I hate Jews or because Israel sucks or I don't think it has the right to exist, or any of these fucking stupid fucking bullshit. I'm not anti-Semitic. Any of these things that people are running around bullshitting about because of Israel. None of that shit is true. I just don't think Israel is right to do what it's doing, period. Nobody can convince me otherwise. I don't want to get into a discussion about it. It doesn't matter. I hope that Trump sticks to his guns on this one, because that will show that he is actually, regardless of pressure, doing what he set out to do for the American people, which is a first in my lifetime. That's the way it is. All right, people. That's it for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Thursday's Insanity Report. Have a great one. We'll catch you soon.